Everyone, it's Jay here from the Training Court Podcast, a Pokemon TCG podcast bringing you anything and everything Pokemon TCG related. If you are looking for Pokemon TCG competitive decks ready to go, including GLC decks, please head over to Pokédex4u.com. Pokédex4u has a variety of decks ready for sale, with each deck being fully customizable and bespoke to your needs. Use the code TrainingCourtTCG for 5% off your first order. Now let's get on to the episode. Hello everyone and welcome to the Training Court Podcast, a Pokemon TCG podcast about anything and everything Pokemon TCG related. Jay here, and we are back again with the Marley brothers. So hi Chris, hi Sean, how you doing?
Hello, very good.
Hello, I'm not bad, you said.
Good. And we're also joined by Andy and the return of Cath. Hello.
Hey, hello.
So we've got a full house this week. Still not got any Al, but that's fine because he doesn't play anyway. So we may as well keep this for actual players. So yeah, another week of talking Pokemon on the internet, and also another new set has officially released. So Paldea Evolved has officially released. How's everyone finding it so far? I mean, obviously it's not legal, but I know that there's lots of deck ideas flying around, and I think videos on YouTube are just a stream of Chen Power this, Chen Power that, and etc. So
there's a lot of Chen Power on the ladder.
Yeah, there is going to be a lot of Chen Power, and the ladder, it's all Chen Power, which is really annoying when you want to test decks.
Quite a bit of Tinglu as well.
I've not seen much Tinglu. It's just been all Chen Power. But before we get into what we've been playing, how are you all finding Paldea Evolved? Any good pulls? Any good rogue deck ideas?
Hello, I'm going to try and crack Meowscarada. So I've just ordered them today. So that's going to be a fun little side project to do.
Yeah. Are you going to still main Gardevoir, is it? But have this as like a little rogue side deck? Yeah.
I don't know. I might sit Guardian for a little while. I've been playing that for like 3 months straight. So
yeah, but it gets so many additional cards. Well, it doesn't get so many. I think it gets 3 additional cards in Paldea Evolved, but they change it. So, but yeah, Meowscarada. I'm probably going to build Meowscarada purely because I've pulled every Meowscarada now, apart from the art rare, which I managed to get for quite cheap. So I've got all of them, so I'm tempted for Meowscarada. Andy, Cath, how was your Paldea Evolved going?
Pretty good. We got some decent pulls. Nothing that we wanted. Like I really wanted Chen Powers, but didn't pull a single one.
No, so I'd ordered 2 booster boxes, one for my nephew and one for Andy, and I let him have the choice. Let Andy have the choice, which box do you want? And he chose.
I chose
the wrong
box.
Yeah.
Because my nephew's box had all the good stuff for the full art Chen Pow.
Yeah. But I've bought them now, so I've got them.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then Andy texted my brother and said like, "Oh, if he wants to trade, I'll trade." Nope. And he said he'll think about it.
Yeah.
Which is a hard.
He knows what he's got. That's the thing.
Oh god. So you've got the Chen Powers now. Any other decks that you're thinking of building from Paldea Evolved, or is it pretty much just Chen Power bust?
If anything, it'd probably be Meowscarada.
I quite like the look of the Tinkerton.
Yeah.
That looks pretty fun.
For the win, he did a video on it, didn't he? That looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Yeah, I think you can't, there's no fairies, so you may as well make your own fairy deck.
Well, yeah, because I'm going to try and make Clefairy work again, so...
Sounds like a good challenge.
We'll see.
Exactly, definitely. Chris, how about yourself?
We've not played loads, to be honest. We usually test quite a lot before the format even comes out. We've not really played a lot because of just live stuff. But there's always rogue ideas. My head's always spinning with rogue ideas. I think people spoke last week about reverse lineages being insane, about opening up so many things.
Yeah.
But the Fortress caught my eye, and I was completely discounting Fortress before the set dropped, and I got it. I packed it. The full art, the silvery one.
Yeah.
I packed that one out of what was it? I can't remember. I think it's prize packs.
I think it was a prize pack. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I got like 2 prize packs, and it was in there, and I was like, you sit down and read it, and you're looking like, this is cool, and then my head just started spinning. Then I just went out of control, and now I'm doing something with that. And I think it could be fun if I can get it to work. I think it could actually be quite fun and quite good. But the fact that no one else is probably doing it probably means that it's probably not.
Never know.
You never know. You
never know. Yep. I think for myself, I've got, like I said, Meowscaradas. I've got all of the Meowscaradas now. So I think I'd need to probably build that deck. I also, out of one booster box, pulled 3 Tingloos EXs. So I pulled the full art, the art rare, and the normal one. So I was like, definitely wants me to play Tingloo. So I built it on live. And it's not good. I watched For the Wins video today, and it can be good, but it's so situational. And he didn't even play any bravery charms. Is that what it's called? I know it's Charm of Courage. Yeah. I know we used to call it Charm of Courage, but the bravery charms, he wasn't even running any of them. And I felt like he was so squishy. Tingloo 240. It was just the perfect number for so many hitters, really. So I felt it was too squishy. But I mean, I'm tempted to, in real life it's always different to online. So I'm tempted to build it and give it a go. But I think it's a set short. Hopefully we get some more supporters, fighting supporters. So we need a good fighting deck. Urshi's feels like a long time ago, although it's still making waves. But Urshi feels like a long time ago. But so before we crack on with this week, the news this week and the results, there's been like I said, 3 events. Have you guys been playing much? So I know the answer from Chris and Sean, so I'm going to go straight to Cath.
Yeah, I'll go first. No. To be fair, every kind of spare minute has been on Zelda, so
not a bad time. Not a bad time wasted. I'm trying to juggle Zelda and Diablo 4 with Pokemon as well. I'm not getting much done of each, basically.
Yeah.
But Andy, have you been playing much? Have you played much on the ladder, or?
I played quite a bit on the ladder, just with Chempao, trying to get used to that.
Refine your list, I guess.
Yeah.
Are you still enjoying it? Because obviously I know you played it on the tabletop.
I do enjoy playing it. Yeah, it's the first deck I've played in a while where I actually enjoy playing it. Like even when I get absolutely battered or I don't draw very well, I still enjoy playing it.
Yeah, it's so important, that I feel, when you're playing and you're having fun with the deck. Like we spoke about it last week. Like Luger is not fun to play. Like you can roll someone over and you're just like, that was boring.
I've always thought Luger is not fun to play though.
Or play against, really.
Yeah.
Unless they break it, it's great. No arc, turn 2, no Archeops in the bin. Oh, great. Okay, Chris, Sean, what have you been playing this week?
It was Arctina this week. I kind of sleeved it up. I thought I'd give it a go because it's been recognised as quite good for a little while now, and I've just not kind of touched it. And it's unlike me to touch an Arc deck, so I sleeved it up and just I had a great time, to be honest. I knew about it and not really, obviously not played it, but I really like the deck actually. I'm really enjoying it.
And what were your matchups yesterday? Because I know we played yesterday at our local Geek retreat. So what were your matchups?
I played an Arc Dura with a Vulpix. I played against a Lost Zone Gira, and then I played against a Turbo Dark.
Okay.
So I won all of those. MVP of the first game was definitely the Radiant Halucha. I was like, go. I knew a few people were playing like Arc Dura / Umbreon. This one I had the Vulpix in.
Yeah.
It is almost like an auto, and if you get the early boss and get that Dura, there is no coming back. They are done, and that feels really good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. Just before we go on to Sean, it's quite odd, isn't it? Is it Alolan Vulpix, or is it just that was everywhere, wasn't it? Because of EUIC, it was everywhere. The prices went up. Everyone was like, "Oh, this is the new tech." And I remember we even spoke to Hot Choc Shy when we were chatting to him, and he was like, he wasn't too worried about it. We were like, it's going to be the next big thing. Everyone's going to be running it, etc. And he was like, nah, it's just people going to tech against it. And how right was he? It really proved it. I mean, I bought a 1/1 line straight away, and I've never used it. That what if that's good in Chen-Pao though? That could be quite good in Chen-Pao. You thought about that?
You try it and let us know.
I'll try and I'll let you know.
I thought about a load of stuff for Chen-Pao. It's just It's just finding that golden 60. The right mix of Pokemon to because it's quite thin on supporters. The one I play it's quite thin on supporters, so it's just Irida, Iono, Boss, and one research.
That's all you want to play, though, right? Like every turn, you just want to play Irida or Iono. That's like you don't want to do anything else. Like
you've got research. It just if you're bricking, just slot research down. Yeah.
Cool. Sean, what have you been playing this week? Or is that a stupid question?
Yeah, I'm just playing Guardian. I'm just waiting for the new set to come legal. So I've played that. I've been playing Guardian online. Playing with Iono's different. That's been a fun learning curve again. Because obviously I played with Den a little before it rotated out.
Yeah.
And I've completely forgot how to play with it because that was like years ago. So I think the first game I faced it, I got into I had 2 prizes left. He dropped me to 2 prizes and I lost the game because of it, even though I had a massive advantage going in to that Iono as well. So
a lot of people are playing Milotic just to counter Iono.
Right.
I think Bibarel lines are going to be. Bibarel's going to be in pretty much every deck now, just to always protect, always to make sure you can get up to 5 and you've got that draw. Yeah.
Iono proof.
Exactly. I think that's going to be the big. I think Bibarel price is going to shoot up now as well. So you've heard it here first. But yeah, I think I played a bit online. Like I said, I tried to make Tinglu work. I just literally kept coming up against Chen-Paos, and again, just that 240, just able to get it, 4 energies on board, able to hit 240. And it was like, I wasn't having a fun time. And then I did play Guardi because I didn't have time to build a new deck or edit or try anything new. So I just went in with Guardi. And yeah, I didn't lose actually. I came second. Unfortunately, Chris went 3-0. I won 2 and drew 1. But all I played was psychic decks that night. Like all I did, like my first game was a Fusion Mew, which is quite scary now. It's quite scary how they can hit some really high numbers really quickly. I'm just so used to DTE Mew, and playing against Fusion Mew again, just didn't enjoy it. But luckily I got the win because I actually. I actually copied someone's list from Fresno this past weekend. So I actually, because the list beforehand I was running was Henry Ford's, and I actually copied Calvin Connor's list. He made top 4 at Fresno. So the changes that he makes to Henry Ford's was instead of Choice Belt, he played what was it? Instead of Choice Belt, he played a Drapion, and then instead of Miriam, he played a Clara. So I just made those 2 changes, and it actually worked out well for me because like I said, the Drapion worked out really well because I played Mew in my first match, so that was perfect. And then I played 2 Guardian Mirrors, so I played another Guardian Mirror where he just struggled really, really badly in the first game, and I was able to take advantage, and I took out his EX, and he had just a Manaphy on board. Like he had nothing else, so he scooped. And then the next game was just kind of typical Guardi who can, take the prize card first. And I actually played against Sean as well. That was a long, interesting match. We had people come up to us and going, "Is this your second game?" Like, no, we're still on our first. Everyone's finished, ready to go. We're still not even finished our first game.
Turning the lights off, sweeping up while you're still there.
We're still there. I'm still there deciding what to do. Yeah.
I kept prizing like 2 Curliers left yesterday. It was really annoying. Every match I just prized 2 Curliers.
Yeah.
And it just slowed me down so much.
Yeah.
It is annoying. But have you seen some of the lists coming out now where they're kind of going like Turbo Guardi? I think I saw one list where he was only running 3 Curliers but 4 rare candies. I don't know. He's kind of like getting rid of the draw of Curlier and just wants to get to Shiny Arcana and Guardi EX quick as possible to start, hitting as hard as possible. But yeah, I don't know.
I'm happy with that. Anything that speeds up Gardevoir is
yeah. Well, it's exactly, yeah. But I mean, I actually
playing it on the ladder can be annoying. People taking forever.
It's a long game. It is a long game. So yeah, Lost Box versus Guardi, I think is probably the longest.
Oh yeah,
the longest
snooze
game.
fest.
I don't know, it depends how quick Lost Box gets to 10 and they just start sprinkling everything inside.
Yeah.
Turbo Lost Box.
It can be pretty quick.
Yeah.
It can definitely be quick. But I mean, I quite like the changes I made to Guardi. Like I said, Calvin Connor did really, really well. He came top 4. I think he was on stream as well. I actually got a chance to speak briefly to Calvin Connor after Fresno, and I had a chance to have a question with him, and I just said, why Clara over Miriam? And he was basically just saying that he much prefers having the Pokemon and energy back in hand instantly rather than the draw, putting it back into the deck and then drawing 3. He and I kind of get that, because yesterday I think I got hit for 290 by a Fusion Strike Mew. I was then able to retreat the Guardi out, put a Curlier up front. I then collapsed Stadium it away. Clara got it straight back into my hand and able to literally evolve it straight away. So I do like those plays, but I know Al will be. I'm glad he's not here actually, because I'm sure he's been championing the Clara versus Miriam for ages. I just like an excuse to get my nice Miriam artwork out there. But hey ho. But yeah, no, it's interesting, and I'm looking forward to seeing how decks evolve. Obviously, I think all that becomes redundant now in Paldea Evolved, because you've got Super Rod. For Guardi's got Super Rod.
Yeah.
Guardi's got Reversal Energy. You've got the the Lux Ray, and you've got the charms now as well. So for the Drifloon players out there, so yeah, it changes massively, and I just wonder if we're going to see a total dominant Guardi field out there. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see, but I'm looking forward to it. But
I don't know if Drifloon will get played a lot, because I think it's a bit of a liability.
Yeah, I agree.
You stick that charm on and you lost vacuum it. You could potentially take 3 prizes in a turn.
Yeah.
True. But then you can also take. I don't know. It depends. It might be working. It might work in, because I was going to say, if you've got path to the peak in play, it'll be a tough decision where someone's like, do I Lost Vacuum? Because Lost Vacuum, no one's playing 4 Lost Vacuums. I think people play 2 or 3 copies. I think people play 2 or 3. Usually it's a one-off, to be fair, because it's another stadium bounce. So do they then choose to bump the stadium? But I suppose if you are playing Path to the Peak in a Guardi, you're stopping yourself with this energy acceleration, the cycling race. So I don't know. But I mean, the numbers that it can do with that charm, it can take out VMAXs. So if you are gonna, a 2-2, you're still up trading and prizes if you take the 3 prizer, and you're obviously losing your Drifloon. But I don't know. We'll have to see. It'll be interesting to see. We've obviously got the NIC coming up soon, which I'm really excited for. I've not been this excited for a tournament in a long time, because I just want to see the new decks and what. Sure, there'll be something to be like, oh, why didn't we think of that beforehand? Like, there's always
absolutely cracked deck.
100%. But before we jump ahead to NAIC, we should probably talk about the last regional of the season. So the regional over in Fresno was played last week. 903 players, which is again, these regionals are getting huge. I think even some of the casters say that they were in regionals of like 90 people back in the day. The fact that 903 players. Let's talk about the winner. So the winner of the tournament was Reagan Retzlov. It's a player we've spoken about quite a few times, a notorious Lugia player. Sticks to his same 60 every time. I don't think he's tweaked his deck once. Again, done very, very well in in juniors. But if you look at his stats since September 22, he is finished. He's not finished outside the top 50 in all the tournaments.
I was just gonna say, it feels like a few weeks ago, and we were talking about him like coming in second or third or something.
Yeah.
We were like, oh yeah, he's gonna win soon. And
He's
now
got
he
to,
has.
yeah, exactly, yeah. So
Yep.
Baltimore, he came 34th. Salt Lake City, 23rd. LAIC, 18th. Orlando, 5th. Melbourne for OCIC, 2nd. Then he went back to Charlotte for a regional, 43rd. And then this run, particularly since April, Fort Wayne, 9th. Portland, 2nd. Hartford, 3rd. And then finally Fresno, 1st. So, I mean, that's just the utmost consistency, isn't it? You know, it's just unbelievable. He's, I think, was he trained? Did he train? Did he train and play with Isaiah Bradner?
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's,
yeah.
I think Rahul
it
as
is.
well. I'm not sure.
It's just, I'm sure we've said it in the podcast before. Obviously, it's great, people winning, etc. But the consistency to get to day 2 and then top 30 every single time in all these tournaments,
Yeah.
regardless of size, is just a massive. It's just massive. Well done to him. So, congratulations to Reagan. Having a look at his deck list, I will share my screen now. So we can have a look at his deck list. I don't think there's anything super obvious that we've not seen before, but I'm pretty sure it's just the optimal 60 for Lugia at the moment. 2 Luminion, 2 T-Tars. He's running a single strike Urshifu, the Veltal, the Serena, Pumpkaboos. It's just a really, really solid deck. I do like the Mesagozas in there. I think he's playing a couple more stadiums there. So I think, I'm sure when I used to play the Lugia, it was a collapsed and 1 Mesagoza, or maybe 2 Mesagoza. But maybe he's increased the stadium count. But I'm pretty sure this has been played by Reagan consistently. So yeah, so he played it. Obviously he won Fresno. He played at the exact same 60 he played at Portland and Hartford as well. So he's pretty consistent. But it feels a bit weird talking obviously about the results of a last regional and just kind of like quickly gleaming over the winner. But there's someone's deck I really want to talk about. And if you can see the screen, for our listeners and our watchers on YouTube, sorry, but for our listeners who can't see the screen, the person in the 5th place really, really stands out to me. So David Tomhave Alexi, he was running Darkrai. Perfect, absolute perfect choice. I think I've not got his pairings, but I'm pretty sure all he came across was like Guardies and Mews.
Well, we knew Mew was going to be prevalent because it had won the last 2.
Yeah.
His pairings for day 2 was I'm pretty sure at day 1 he went like 6-3 or like 6-2-1 or something like that. Like he got into day 2. He didn't blast into day 2, and then day 2 he hit nothing but Mew. Like it was every match it was a Mew.
Yeah,
that's how you get to top. That's how you get top cut, right? Like
that's
hit Mew every game with Turbo Dark.
I really think they missed a trick when they were doing the top 8 masters. The top 4 masters. Was it top 8? It would have been top 8. Yes.
Yeah.
They didn't show his game. I'm pretty sure they showed Calvin versus Caleb. So I just think it would have been really nice to see, the usual. We always see, the Guardies versus the Lost Box or the Lugias or, etc. It would have been nice to see the Darkrai. Now he was on stream and he won the game on stream, but I think it would have been really nice, for Top Cut to be in there. But yeah, looking at the deck,
to be honest, Calvin's top 8 game was pretty good.
It was a good game. Yeah, it was actually a really good game, to be fair. So, I'm a big fan of Calvin. He's again relatively consistent player as well, and playing Guardy. So I was trying to watch, trying to get into his mind, like why has he chosen that, and that's what you can do. I did the same with Henry as well, but when I tried to imitate Henry, I failed miserably. So, but back to David's deck, it just nothing like stand out in terms of. This is exactly just Turbo Darkrai. This is just Turbo Darkrai deck, but it works so well, and it just it runs so well. Is this very similar to the deck you came across last night, Chris?
Almost identical, to be honest. It's like 2 baby Moltres, 2 Moltres V.
Yeah.
Greninja. Yeah. The
Just
Pokestop.
milling the deck. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
just
just
mill
very
through.
fast cross switcher. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's obviously congratulations to David. Yeah, it's really cool to see some of these decks, not being the normal meta. Because if you do look at the rest of the top 4, so Caleb, again got another second place finished, unfortunately. But again, consistency, he's there again. Every time I look at like a final, I'm always like, oh, it's going to be Caleb because he's pretty much consistently there. But he's kind of, I think, using his optimal 60 for Lost Zone. Then we've got Andrew Hendrick, who was running I believe, was it Fusion Strike Mew or was it DTE Mew? So Andrew Hendrick with DTE Mew, and then Calvin Connor with Guardi, and then Chris Kemp was 6 with Lugia, and then on the 7th place we had Sawyer Melbourne, again an Arc deck, but this time it was more of a stall deck, wasn't it? To be honest, it's a Arc Aerodactyl, so obviously mixed in with the Clef Keys, you're basically stalling. You've got the Aerodactyl V and V Star out, you've got the Arceus to accelerate energy, you've got your Clef Keys to turn off abilities. Again, just pure stalling and making you like misery, your opponent's life an absolute misery. I don't think there's anything much more about that deck really, but just pure misery.
I love a Say No deck. Say No decks are some of my favorites.
I don't know. I'd probably say no and go away. Like Scoop, nope, not playing. I did play the Galarian Wheezing stall deck with Aerodactyl V pre-rotation. I had to literally, I won, and that's because I think he was bricking, but I had to manually attach energy each turn to Lugia. Didn't get a single Archeops out. That was a real tough, grim match. Less of these decks, please. But I mean, Ting Lu's kind of going that way, wasn't it? But I don't think that it's going to hit the heights. But again, it's good to see the consistency. Another top 20 finish for Rapid Strike Box. So I was always iffy about Rapid Strike Box, but it's getting results and it's getting there. It's actually had another one on the 22nd and 22nd as well. So play 17th and 22nd. I was always just worried that having the VMAXs there was just a big target, really. That's what I was thinking going into EUIC, but obviously I was incorrect. Lebui came 8th with again DTE Mew. He was really unlucky. I don't know if you watched his matches.
He got a double prize.
Penalty, yeah. That brings probably around the conversation that's going around at the moment, that essentially for our listeners out there, he was setting up. He was I believe, so when we're playing, just say you're looking at you're the way you are at the moment, the prizes go to your left hand side, so that's okay for half of the table, but then they've got the prizes all on one side on the table for the stream, so one player is always having to put the prizes on an unnatural position, and unfortunately Lebui's was that side, and he knocked over. I think did he knock over a card or two?
Yeah, I think a card
flipped over when he was like reaching to put it down.
Yeah,
but it was the game hadn't started. He could have easily just shuffled the prize, reshuffled and gone again, but as it is in the rules at the moment, it's a double prize penalty.
Yeah,
and
you saw too much information.
But they hadn't even started the game yet. Surely they could have, I mean, what's your guys' thoughts on that?
I think that he should. I mean, they're always gonna penalise him for it, but I think two prize penalty is way too much.
Yeah.
Maybe one prize or a warning, but. Yeah, 2 prizes.
Definitely a warning.
It's pretty much game over, isn't it?
It just felt really harsh when he's like not doing it the natural way you would normally set up.
Yeah,
exactly. It's on his right. It's on his right. Yeah.
It's like what happened when Cath and he instead
kept
of
taking his prizes
from his deck, because they forced him to play on the opposite side he would normally,
Yeah.
which is unfair.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I just think it's unnatural position, putting the player in, also being on stream is, you can imagine, being very stressful. We've spoken about it before with the podcast. We don't know what it's like. I can imagine, just playing is stressful enough. Imagine playing, with thousands of people watching you, where, you're on the stage, etc. I think really harsh. And the double prize loss, I think, was just a bit harsh, especially given, I understand if it was during the game because you do get that information, it's fine.
Yeah.
But the game, I think, at that point, it may be, like I said, a warning, and then that player then shuffles their hand back into the deck and the prizes, and then they start again. If they do it a second time, then you do the double prize penalty. But I think that straight off the bat was too harsh.
And if
I think he's been. Sorry, go on.
I think if you have an agreement with your opponent that they're just gonna shuffle it back into the deck, if you're having a gentleman's agreement, obviously, you just shuffle it back into the deck and go again.
Yeah, but they won't want you doing that on stream. Like, just not following the rules of the game on the stream.
I know, but doesn't that promote a healthier competitive scene?
Yeah, but that's not the rules of the game.
Yeah, I suppose.
No, I'm with you, Andy. I think it should be definitely that way. I think it's harsh. I think he took it quite well. I think on his Twitter,
he
took it really well. I don't think he referenced it, but didn't use it as an excuse for the loss, which I think is fair enough. Wasn't salty about it, And again, he's a consistent player. If you look at his finishes as well, especially this season, he's been 14th at Vancouver, May last year, March this year, 13th at Vancouver, 12th at Portland, and then 8th. He's consistently a good player. So it's tough, and I find it really, really harsh. But he took it very gracefully. So, but yeah, it's again, just finishing up on Fresno. It was good to see that we've always got a Miraidon in the top 50. So Christopher Lopez was playing the Miraidon Fluffy.
Just one.
Just one I can see. Yeah,
Fluffy.
just one Miraidon in the top 50.
It was a turbo, right? There's a turbo one there, I'm pretty sure.
Let's have a look.
Yeah, there's one at 43 and one at 50.
Oh, it's at 56. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really a Miraidon, is it, anymore? It's just like a Miraidon box almost, because it's using Miraidon for its ability, and then it's mainly kind of attacking with the Raikou, the Raichu, the Zapdos is in there, the Magnezone. I know you were playing this quite a lot last week, Chris. You quite enjoyed that deck for a bit of fun.
Yeah, so something different, a little bit of fun. Yeah, it's definitely not tier 1, maybe not even tier 2 in some cases, depending on really who you're playing against, like skill wise. It's you can get around it. It's just and not even skill wise, to be honest. I think sometimes you just whiff, and it's just it's just bad.
So this one was played by Egner and came 56 in Fresno. This looks like a pure turbo build. It's 3 Miraidon, 2 Raikou Vs, a Manaphy to stop the damage, splash damage, and then a Zapdos for the extra attack, and then just Mew, which I assume is just for the mysterious tail ability. That's a pure turbo. I don't think you're with 14 cards in the energy cards, I don't think you're going to miss your generators. So it's interesting that it's still got its fans, and it's still going to be there. I just wonder if it's going to be there following Paldea Evolved, whether maybe Tinglu or Clodsire EX or something takes its place or something, But
all it takes though is a couple of cards that help it with the generator and stuff like that, and it's easily one of the best decks in format then.
Yeah,
if they reprinted something like Speed Lightning Energy or just some kind of draw plus energy attachment plus 2 generators,
because the ability tandem unit is just it's Bal VIP Pass and steroids. No, well, I think that's for Fresno. So that was the first event of the weekend. We had another event of the weekend, but we're not going to speak about the Champions League because none of us are City fans here. So what instead we're going to go over and speak about the special event in Johannesburg. 82 players, and surprise, surprise, it was won by Mew. I think you can probably almost guess now at this point it's going to be a Mew deck that always wins. But again, I know for the Guardi again top 3, Nico Alabas. So obviously Al was mentioning he had some tutoring with him. So again, consistently he's Nico's a good player playing with a good deck. But again, standard, nothing really. We see different. Top 4 was obviously Arceus, Arc, Dura, Umbreon, ADU. So that's still doing the rounds. But yeah, I mean it was only 82 players, but it was still a decent event. But yeah, Mew again consistently comes out on top. Then we move over to the Japan Championships 2023, in which just under 2,000 players played a best of 1 tournament. So 1,963.
Best of 3 in day 2.
Was it? Oh, was it Top Cut? Was best of 3? Was it?
No, day 2 I think day 2 in total was best of 3.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
I always thought Japan was just always best of 1 straight away. I know that some tournaments do best of 1, and then when it's the Top Cut, it's best of 3.
Yeah,
yeah.
But day 1 was day 1 was best of 1, and day 2 was best of 3.
Cool.
Yeah, that's it, I think.
Okay, that's pretty cool. So yeah, as you can see, it was won by a Fusion Mew. So again, Mew is just going nowhere. So let's just have a look at the list just so we can have a quick check and just discuss, because this is, again, in the Japanese format, this is Paldea Evolved is legal. So that's Snow Burst and Clay Hazard. That's all legal here. So as you can see, there's only really 1 card from that set. So 1 Iono, but again, it's just consistent, isn't it? It's just absolutely consistent. But this one's got the Ice Cube in it, which I find quite interesting. You guys got any thoughts on that in a Mew deck? So just for the reference, it's the Ice Cube from Brilliant Stars.
It's not the first time I've seen it.
So it's attack.
It's just like the Spiritombs and stuff in it, because it's like 40 times.
Yeah. So this attack does 40 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon for each Fusion Strike energy attached to all your bench Pokemon. So again, if you unless it's Sparkle where you get 2, that automatically does 80. So if you do that to get rid of the Spiritombs,
It's like Meloetta with Snipe in it, really. Just a bit less damage.
Yeah,
you ain't dropping a Manaphy against a Mew, are you? It's not the first thought that comes to mind, is it?
No, definitely. So it's interesting though to see again just how we all thought that the DTE Mew was the optimal Mew Mew VMAX list.
I didn't.
Apart from Cath. And then we've gone back almost to Fusion Strike. It's interesting to say the least. But yeah, congratulations. I think his name's Nachi. Again, did fantastic for the amount of players. He did come up against a Guardi, who came second. So let's have a look at this Guardi list. Again, pretty standard. However, we do have the Spiritomb in place. So Spiritomb literally for the Mew matchup. And then we've got 4 Ionos, 3 Bosses Orders, 2 Research. That's it for supporters. Again, I think that's going to be quite standard now for Guardi list going forward. It's mainly going to be your Bosses and Ionos, maybe 1 or 2 Research. 3 Rare Candy, but he's gone down to 2 Fog Crystals. I think Fog Crystals, obviously he did a lot better than me, but I always think Fog Crystals are a lot more of a needed resource than Rare Candy. But then moving on, obviously 2 Super Rod, which was, which we thought would be the case. And then Artisan. So again, another stadium, which probably helps Guardi a lot, doesn't it? Once during your turn, you can you basically put a basic Pokemon, a Pokemon that doesn't have a rule box, basically, I believe, into your hand, or is it your bench? It's onto your bench, isn't it?
Bench, yeah.
So again, that's really good to set up. Imagine if you started with a Battle VIP pass and then an Artisan. All of a sudden, you've you've got your bench pretty much set up for the turn. So that's quite good. Again, no reversal energy. That's probably the big shock for me. I thought reversal with the baby Shining Arcana Guardy would be optimal. But hey ho, this guy got second of the 2,000 person tournament. So I'm not going to listen to him.
As well.
Yes, Mirage Step Curlier, that was there as well. So it's definitely interesting to see this format. And third place was a DTE Mew. I'm pretty sure this is just. Yes, this one does play the Luxray. This one did play the Luxray in the reversal. I assume for probably the Lugia matchup, or potentially the Chen Pao matchup as well. But again, pretty standard list. The Lost Vacuum count slowly sneaking up as well. But Mew always plays a decent size amount of Lost Vacuums because you want to basically judge path. You sort of set yourself up and then judge path. So then it's good if you bit of a bother Iono and a Drapion, yeah. So the following Cath's lead of Drapions into new VMAXs. Then to round out the top four, not an Arc Gira, a Lost Zone Gira, which again, this Arc Gira sees a lot of play over in the West, sorry, but Lost Box Gira always does well over in the East.
I just think it's just they play best of one, so it must do better in the shorter games, shorter matches.
Yeah, that's potentially it's probably potentially true. That again, looking at the list, 2 Super Rods included, 2 Path to the Peaks, 3 Jet Energies, which again is a nice little addition. That helps as well, and then 1 Iono. Yeah, I think Jet Energy is all the energies. This set definitely feels really, really good because with all the energies we've got, reversal energy, jet energy, therapeutic energy. There's a lot more energies that I've probably missed out as well. I'm sure there's another one. Luminous energy as well. Yeah. So we've got all these energies coming in, which is good because base set we had nothing. Base set we had absolutely nothing. So this set seems like the more one to set up, and it seems there's a lot more variety in this deck, in these sets. Sorry, because we were saying last night, weren't we, that when no one was going out, like there was a few people who were like, oh, Miraidon, but it wasn't really as big as people were. It was always Lost Box. Basically, they were like, basically Lost Box is going to become the best deck in format. Then Tord played Guardy at EUIC, and then that's now exploded. But if you look at it, there's been no kind of decent rogue decks. Occasionally you get the odd Miraidon here or there, as we said, obviously in the results at Fresno. But realistically, it's Guardy, Lost Box, Mew, or Lugia. That seems to be the kind of the top 4 decks at the moment. There's no kind of off-cuff decks really, like Big Pig. We thought Big Pig might do well. Yeah. We've heard nothing of that. Trying to think of other EXs. Bennett EX was printed in base set. Nothing. Yeah. Gyarados EX.
I think it just costs too much to get going. Gyarados
is terrible.
Yeah.
5
energy.
6. Yeah, 5 and 6.
And it's stage 1.
Now Baxcaliburs are out.
Yeah.
Well,
I was about to say that,
yeah. Now Baxcaliburs are out. A Raihan and then Baxcalibur all your energy from superior energy retrieval. Yeah. You can attack. It's a lot of commitment though, isn't it? There's definitely a lot of commitment.
Just use Chen Pao.
Yeah, basically.
The biggest issue there is a 30 HP Magikarp that has to sit on the bench for 1 minute.
That's very true. Yeah. That's very true. But saying that, you look at that artwork, that special artwork rare from this set. That Magikarp's stunning. Absolutely stunning. Let me see if I can. Magikarp Paldea Evolved. That is stunning. I'm actually pretty sure it's one of the most expensive cards. Yeah, I think it's
the second most expensive in the set.
Yes, it'll just be behind Iono, obviously. Yeah, I would quite like it. I'd like to get this one, to be fair. This one and the T-Tar, but my luck is just not there with regards to that. The T-Tar looks fantastic as well, doesn't it? So, so moving then on, there is another Guardy deck that made top 10, Lost Box, but again, let's quickly check them out just because obviously they're playing the Paldea Evolved meta. So this is the one that made top 10. No Luxray, 1 Reversal Energy, 4 Iono, still playing the Worker, still got Super Rod. And again, the 3-2 Candy Crystal split is there consistently. I would have. I mean, I played 3 crystal, 2 candy, so I'm quite surprised at that, to be honest.
I like the 3 crystals.
You thought you could get Cadbury X with 5 crystal.
I made a mistake once, all right? I made a mistake once, and I've never been able to live it down. Never been able to live it down. But yeah, it's interesting. So obviously, the one thing that was from there, obvious from there is there was, I think some of the decks are missing from that. So obviously, the deck that hit 5th place and the deck that played 10th, and then 12th onwards. But the glaring omission is any Paldea Evolved decks.
Yeah.
I think
No
they're
Chim.
they're not on that level yet, are they? The Chem Power has obvious flaws. The Tingler just doesn't work. It's terrible. And I think the other ones just need a bit of experimentation. I feel like if you're a Japanese player and you're going into the biggest tournament of the year, I think you're going to go with something safe that's insane.
Yeah.
So you're going to pick something like Gardevoir or Mew. Or
Yeah.
You weren't going to risk it.
No, very, very true, very true. So, yeah, it's just an interesting thing to note, isn't it? Really, that the big tournaments. Usually, we try and look to these tournaments to see kind of what's the next big thing coming out of Japan. But it seems that the next big thing we've already came out nearly 2 years ago. Fusion Strike Mew just keeps getting better and better, and Guardi as well. But yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see. I'm definitely looking forward to it. There was an incident that occurred. We mentioned it. We mentioned it a couple of weeks ago when Joe was on the podcast with us, whereby the winner of the Hartford Regional, which was Rowan Stavenow, he obviously had a SWAT. There was some social media going around that he had a SWAT sticker shaved into the side of his head. So that was a massive uproar. He did put a statement out. We pretty much stated unanimously that we think his mates were just dobbing him in it here at this point, because I think in the video he actually says, "What did you do?" So I don't think he was even aware. But for a first of its kind, the Pokemon Company International actually issued a statement basically confirming that there was an investigation they conducted, and basically this is what they say. So they say that we are aware of a player accused of egregious behaviour that falls well outside of expectations for the play Pokemon community. Our investigation into this incident has resulted in the following conclusions. 1. The player in question did not take an active role in what led to the accusation. 2. Other persons, both from the player community and the peer group of the accused player, were determined to be responsible for the content that led to the accusation. And 3. Other persons from within the player community published the content and presented it publicly in a way that intended to inflict damage upon the accused party. Currently, our findings do not support taking any disciplinary action against the accused player. Should more information come to light, we reserve the rights to update our decision accordingly. Following an additional investigation, those who created the content used against the accused player may face long-term disciplinary consequences in the play program. So that's pretty much just said we looked into it, we didn't see anything wrong, but if we do see, so if a new video comes to light or something, well, we can actually reserve the right to take action.
They're always going to say that,
of course. It's I think Cath's got an opinion on this, so I'm going to let Cath take it first. Go on.
Just think that for a statement that doesn't actually say much, I don't know, it's just pretty poor. I think, yes, it's nice that they've made the statement, and I hope that they continue to make statements about things, but like, I don't know.
They don't provide much detail, do they? It's just, we've looked into it, and
they've not referenced that it's just an incident occurred, and we have to assume that that's the incident that they're talking about and not something else.
Well, yeah, I think that's not.
Because it could have been about the. Well, I mean, pick what scandal it could have been about. There's loads of them.
We usually hear about scandals. Like I said, it's it's quite refreshing. The past 2 regionals, we've not actually had any issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually we have to talk about it.
The Twitlongers.
Yeah, exactly. The Twitlongers. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. To be honest, it's a
It's
difficult
a step in the right direction.
but it's 100%. It's definitely the step in the right direction because
Yeah.
for how long have we had nothing from
Yeah.
Pokemon? Like they've just said nothing at all.
I think the community's just forced the hand with this one, though.
I just, I think there was other ones as well. Was it Makani Tran when he was kicked off stream by the judge?
Yeah.
That one got that. They've never referenced. They've never spoken about that, and that's because that's why they've never said what's happened with a judge. There's been so many incidents that have occurred. It's I feel like it's odd that it's this one they've gravitated towards. But if this is them changing tact and them actually going to acknowledge it from here on, it's a step in the right direction. But like Cath said, it's a statement that says it's a statement with words that doesn't actually say anything.
I mean, they could have just mentioned that it was anti-Semitic logos or whatever. Then people would have known exactly. I mean, we kind of, if you're in the community and you pay attention, you kind of know what it's going to be about. But for people who aren't and they're just casually reading stuff on the website, it's like, oh, what's this?
I think that's the problem. I think because the Pokemon Company International have actually chosen to respond to this one. Now in my mind, everyone's like, well, what about this incident?
Yeah,
or what about that incident? What about that? Are we going to get a response? What about Oliver Barnett? Getting disqualified.
And
what about the South American player who was blatantly cheating on stream? What about them? So they've kind of set a precedent almost that they've got to talk about it now. But I think they could no matter what they do, they can't. I don't think they can do right in this situation. If they're as transparent as anything, people will say it's too much and that they're controlling it and they're ruining it. It's meant to be a game for it's meant to be a game for kids originally, obviously, but with a good community and a supported player base. So if they go in that direction, then people say it's too much. If they don't go enough, people say, well, it's bad that the community. I mean, Joe said it's bad enough that the community has to do this for them.
Yeah,
but the fact that they've actually chosen to do this now sets a precedent because now they can't just pick and choose now. I think it's dangerous, this actually, in my opinion, that they've done this. But we'll obviously wait and see.
What do you think, Chris and Sean?
I think I wasn't expecting. I knew when I heard about the statement and then heard the statement. I don't think there was as much surprise when I heard about it. The way it was worded. I think they're not trying to bring too much light to. Look, our regional winner, this guy who won in this massive tournament, was caught in a scandal. I don't think they're going to bring light to him, and it could cause distress as well. Like if outside organisations go and headhunt the guy, this guy has a hate symbol and things like that. I don't think they were going to bring major attention directly to certain points. I think it's more of a statement for people within the community.
Yeah.
And I think it is a step in the right direction. I think it's something that should have been done a long time ago.
Yeah, and hopefully now the witch hunt, all the witch hunts stop. I mean, it's probably not going to stop, but at least if Pokemon say something and make a decision, then people can stop trying to find their own justice. Like what happened in this case, there was people who were going in on Rowan like hard.
Yeah, there's examples of people doing really silly things that like contacting them in personal lives and places of work. I think was other. I don't know, was it that instance or another instance that happened a few weeks before? Like it was just to a judge, I think it was. It's really silly. I was like, it's a game. Something's not gone your way, or things like that. And there was those really awful scenes that you saw, particularly on Twitter and things like that. It's just
it's not nice considering how positive the community and how good the community is. Like I said, we can attest to that. We're a small group of people from the UK, just get together every week and chat crap about Pokemon TCG, and we've had support from people like Omnipoke Joe for the win, Hotshot. and even more, and more to come as well. So it goes to show how good the community is. But obviously, everyone is human. People make mistakes, and
Yeah.
bro, he's a kid at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say I shaved swastikas into people's hair when I was a kid, but you do stupid stuff that I'm glad that I was not on social media at the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's obviously different for us, and Sean's a bit younger than us, so he gets away. He doesn't get away with
He's
that.
got all that to come. All them mistakes to come.
Best advice: don't do social media. Apart from our Twitter, obviously, our Twitter and the Marley's Twitter, TCG Twitter. Right, okay. So then moving on to the last bit of news. There's just little dribs and drabs now of news. I think you're all going to be really, really happy to know that another Crown Zenith product is coming out.
Oh.
So August the 4th, we'll see the release of a new Crown Zenith special collection called the Unknown and Lugia V collection. Now, I mentioned on the podcast a while ago that the Lugia promo art in this case is actually from a mystery box, the Paradigm Trigger mystery box that was released in Japan back in October last year. It's been my favorite artwork for a long time. I thought they'd do a tin. I never thought it'd be a Crown Zenith, but
it's a tin promo, isn't it?
It is a tin promo, yeah. So just getting away from the ad because I've not got ad blocker. If you look at the pictures, it's just it comes with 5 packs. It comes with the Lugia artwork for the V and the Jumbo. It's also got the Unknown V artwork as well.
Do you know what this feels like? This feels like when you've come home after a long day at work and you're like, what can I have for tea? I'll see what's in the freezer. And you have
throw it together.
3 chicken nuggets.
Beige.
Like 3 chicken nuggets, a piece of garlic bread and a few chips. Because that's all you've got left.
Yeah.
And you need to make it work.
Well, you say that, but if you actually look, we've actually got a couple more promos and cards that we never got. So these are all the other artworks that we didn't get from around this time. The Lucario V-Star, the Rainbow one, I think was a championship winning. I think only the people who got into the championship tournament got that. So I think that's going to be very rare. So we're not going to get that.
But as a full art.
We got a Jirachi V, yeah. That was in Lost Origins, I want to say.
I think so, yeah. Or Astro Radiance, one or the other.
But I mean, look at this Lugia V-Star. Why did they not go with the Lugia V-Star? That artwork's 10 times better than the one we've got.
Yeah.
And so I mean, Lugia is my favorite.
Stamped as well.
Yeah. So Lugia is my favorite Pokemon. I have said I'm going to step away from that deck, but just look at these artworks. I think that's better than the alt art.
So now seeing these artworks has spurred Jamie on to play Lugia again.
Yeah.
For another 4 months.
Yeah.
Not a chance. No, not a chance. Not a chance. I'm going to buy this, and I'm going to buy it for the pin as well because I'll be repping Lugia my own way, not that way. But I think that's even nicer than the alt art. To be honest, I've got the alt art. I think that's a much nicer card. So
yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, I think everyone's really happy that we've got more Crown Zenith products coming. 8 months after the first released, and then it'll be about 3 months after. It'll be 3 to 4 months after the last set was meant to release, which was the shiny Zacian and Zamazenta.
Yeah.
The thing with this is it's a GameStop exclusive in the States. Usually when they get weak, the GameStop exclusive stuff comes out in the UK. It's usually game exclusive. So the Arceus Ultra Premium Collection was a GameStop exclusive, and that was exclusive to game, which I wouldn't recommend to anyone because the pulls were horrendous. I think you get 17 packs or something stupid like that, and I got 1V all those packs.
Oh, wow.
Oh
It was,
that's rough.
Yeah.
Most people on the release date on the forums and all the Facebook groups, etc., they were all having the same. It was rough. It's the same as the Charizard UPC as well. You either get a godly pack with an alt art in it, or you get nothing. So, moving on then, a bit more news in terms of World Championship. So, a new Pikachu EX promo was released and announced. So I think to celebrate the championship in Japan this year, they're releasing a Pokemon World Championships 2023 Yokohama deck Pikachu edition. So if we have a look at the actual, I think they actually showed it on the stream, so you can actually see there that it's a really cool tin. I think the artwork's absolutely awesome on it.
It's just the Japan, like the world's artwork, isn't it?
It is the world's artwork, yeah. So again, like I said, when you went to the London one, you obviously got Pikachu in the top hat everywhere.
Yeah.
So
how was the fairy energy on that tin, by the way?
yeah, there was a fairy energy on that tin.
Was
I don't think it's coming back though. I don't think it's coming back. No.
They're doing it.
Yeah, it has
They're
to be
doing
on
it.
the tin.
Yeah, but
They're going to announce it at Worlds, aren't they?
100%.
Do you reckon? There you go. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there it's shown. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the box, but then I'm not sure if I love the box or the promo more. So this is the promo, and it's featuring Miraidon and Koraidon, and it'll actually show if my computer lets it.
Yeah, the promo's sick.
There we go. That's a cool card. That's a really cool card.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Chris and Sean, while you're over there, can you get us a couple of them, please? And bring them over.
Yes, please.
Get a nice fee involved as well. That'll be helpful.
Transport fee, yeah.
Transport fee, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But I mean, the Pikachu EX, I'm not actually sure. Is it the same? Is it got the same moves? Do we know?
I presume so. I can't see them making an quiz.
I pulled one. Let me just have a quick look now. Pikachu EX, 190. Pika Punch, 30 damage, and Dynamic Bolt, 220. Yeah, it's the exact same. Yes, it's just a new artwork. So, yeah, I gave that Pikachu to my son actually. So, because it's not very playable. But yeah, so there's again a couple more a couple more items being released. Have you guys mentioned that you were able to get at least one set of spectators passes?
So Chris managed to get spectator passes. He was the lucky one in Lotto. I didn't get any.
Yeah, there's me, Sean, my partner. We're all actually going on holiday to Japan anyway. We honestly booked it like.
I don't believe this. I was like,
No, honest.
We booked it in like
Of
October.
all the coincidences.
Yeah.
And we're Pokemon players.
Yeah. We booked it before they even announced Yoka. No, they definitely announced Yokohama about that point, right? Because they announced it at Worlds.
At Worlds, and we booked it.
They did,
September.
Yeah.
Whereabouts are you staying? Are you just staying in one place?
No, we're going all over the place. Yeah, we're going to
nice,
Tokyo. We're starting in Tokyo, going to Osaka, and then from Osaka we'll travel to like Kyoto and Nara and Hiroshima and things like that. But we booked the holiday in like October, and there's no dates for Worlds or anything like that. They could have like a week earlier, because we're going for 2 weeks, but a week earlier and we would have missed it, which would have sucked. When I saw the dates, it was like, oh my god, it's during our holiday.
If you don't already, follow a guy called Chris Broad.
Oh yeah,
Broad in Japan.
Yeah.
His channel's sick.
I've been following him for a while actually. Before we went, he was kind of like, oh my god. I've always wanted to go to Japan, but like watching his stuff was, I've been watching it for a while. Oh yeah, really good. And it's going to be Pokemon Mania as well.
Yeah.
It's just going to be insane.
Take loads of photos.
Yeah, we're not jealous at all.
I know, yeah.
Problem.
Yeah, it's been a bit of an interesting one with regards to spectators passes, because with London you just had to, again, it was the same, wasn't it? You just had to jump on and be lucky, I guess. The same as the UIC, the same with, for competing for regionals, etc. We were able to manage to get on. If you remember, we managed for spectator passes at the Worlds, found it quite easy actually. So they've changed it for Japan. I thought they'd keep it the same because I didn't think Japan, given how far away it is really, but they've obviously changed for the lottery system. It's pretty rough, I think, especially people have booked in advance. But they have said and come out, I think Arcane and Labs have come out and said that the competitors in the competitors packs, they all have 2 spectators badges, so they can pass it on to spectators as and when they see fit. So that's quite good. So the only problem is, I don't know how it's been monitored, is the people who are winning the lottery, allocations and then potentially selling them.
Well, you have
And
to
photo ID on.
pick them up. When you pick them up, you have to show a photo ID that links to your account. So maybe you can sell them afterwards. But if you'll have to go to Japan and actually pick up your passes before you can sell them. So that's
you have to match the ID name to your Arcanine account name. In fact, Arcanine put a tweet up literally like 2 hours before we recorded this. If you try and change the name, they put something funny. It was like, if you change the name of your Arcanine account after receiving the spectator badges, so someone else can pick them up, it's very obvious and we will know.
Yeah.
To try and stop that from happening. But yeah, you have to be the person who bought them to pick them up. Afterwards, you can sell them if you've just got like the pass, because there's no names on them, is there? If you remember, they're just
correct.
Just got spectator or competitor on.
Yeah.
It'd be. Sorry, Andy, go on.
They're doing a lottery system for the pop-up shop as well.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, enjoy queuing up for hours. I mean, it'd be worth it because it's a once in a lifetime thing, really, isn't it? The World Championship in Japan. I think we were discussing, weren't we? We were just like, we couldn't believe it never been to Japan before. The world.
Yeah. The whole
It's incredible, isn't it?
That is phenomenal. Can't believe that. So I mean, it is once in a lifetime, but yeah, I think you will lose a couple of days holiday just being in the queue for Pokemon Center. Yeah. So we'll bring us a nice playmat back and that deck box, please. And we'll let you back on again in another couple of episodes. Cool. Well, I think that's it really for the news this week. We're kind of gearing up now towards Paldea Evolved becoming legal. I think by the time the episode goes live, we'll be a week short of Paldea Evolved being being legal in the standard format. There is another special event planned for this weekend. So again, by the time of listening to this podcast, the special event for Cape Town will be tomorrow. So again, that'll be interesting to see. It'll be the last special event of the season, and then. But by the time on release, we are a fortnight away from NAIC. So I think next week's episode, we'll be talking about what we believe are, our picks for NAIC, and how we've been getting on with testing, etc. Because I know I think we've all had cards arrive today, yesterday, and I think we're all absolutely itching to start playing and testing these new decks, really. So, it's gonna be a fun time. So, but yeah, okay, I think that wraps it up this week. So I just want to thank each and every one of you for listening, and I want to thank all the guys and for being my fellow co-hosts. Thanks again this week, Chris, Sean. Thank you again for filling in for Al while he's been away. I think we'll have a conversation potentially about replacing him, maybe. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is Al's position under threat?
Definitely.
Always.
I mean, Al wouldn't have forgotten RTFC.
Oh.
Okay. In that case, Cath, give us an RTFC, please.
I don't have one.
You played last night.
But I played Guardy, which I played Guardian Mew.
Yeah, but what did you play against?
Guardy Mew. As I literally said, I know.
Oh.
I'll give you one. I played live today, and I completely forgot reversal, and you can only go on non-rule blocks, and I put it to my EX. So.
Yeah,
that was fun.
Silly boy.
Okay, that's a good one, and it's a good one for Paldea Evolved, given that we still need to get used to these energies.
Does it at least count for one colourless energy?
Yeah, it just counts as one colourless energy.
Yeah. So it's not just like a complete waste. Still,
no,
not ideal, but
still not great. Especially when you want to attack that turn as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so sorry, I forgot RTFC. My bad. I'll blame Al for that one. Okay, well, yeah, I'm going to thank everyone again. Thanks,
Yeah.
Cath, for reminding me that, and Andy as well.
Welcome.
And yeah, Chris, Sean, thank you very, very much for jumping on. It's been an absolute pleasure having you. You know, we play with you every week, and it's just a pleasure to chat shit about Pokemon again with you. So for everyone out there, if they want to catch your journey to Yokohama, where's the best place for them to catch that?
Go on, Sean, see if we get it right.
So it is at Marley TCG. So apparently last week I didn't use the app when my brother spoke to me afterwards.
That's all.
What are you doing?
Getting scolded.
Yeah, just to repeat that, it's at Marley TCG on Twitter, and yeah, follow them, guys. They obviously post about their obviously the tournaments they've been to. I think we've obviously got the decks, the building, and also when they go to Yokohama, I'll be watching very, very closely to make sure you've got those decks in your basket.
You're gonna do
And the
side
play.
events when you go.
Well, you know what, sorry?
Side events.
We're thinking about it. Right now, we've only got 2 tickets.
Oh yeah.
If we can't get another one, it would kind of suck because then one of us would have to not go in,
Yeah.
which would
Yeah.
kind of suck. And I don't know if I'm allowed to leave my partner outside. I'm just gonna go and play some Pokemon. You go to cafe in Japan.
In Japan, yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
you 3 days, yeah. That'll just be the queue for the Pokemon Center as well. No, definitely. Well, again, thank you guys for joining me this week, and thank you guys for listening. If you want to catch us on our Twitter, we're at Training Court TCG, and we're also at Training Court on Instagram. To listen to us, the best way is always on our YouTube, so we're at Training Court TCG on YouTube. But the best way to definitely listen to us is on our Spotify account, on our Spotify or Apple iTunes. Again, just type in Training Court TCG, and we'll be there. Thank you guys again for joining me, and we'll catch you all next week.